Welcome, Fordham, and this is our very first episode of We, the Incredible Three. The Incredible Three, who are they, you may ask? That is me, Jiyoon.
Me, Kristin.
And me, Steph.
Right. Now with these ladies here with me, we're going to discuss our top 5 happenings and whodunits at Fordham University. And not to mention, we're going to talk about some spooky stuff since Halloween is quickly approaching. I personally cannot believe that the year is almost over as we are all seniors. Time is quickly flying by. Also, Halloween is my favorite season, and I think it is America's favorite holiday, considering that Christmas, popular, but not everyone's Christian in America, let's remember. And then also Thanksgiving, but who wants to celebrate, the rape and pillage of thousands of innocents? So, with that being said, Halloween's my number one pick. And Kristin's number one pick is?
So my favorite event this week was Fordham's first ever drag show. This was at our Lincoln Center campus, and it was a lot of fun. The energy was incredible. It really kind of embodied RuPaul's Drag Race, if you guys have seen that show.
Love RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, honestly, it would have been a really great televised show. It has become my favorite Fordham event, honestly.
Honestly, I'm surprised that it took Fordham this long to make this event, considering, well, like you said, how popular RuPaul's Drag Race is. I'm a big fan. And then also how popular the LGBTQ community is here at Fordham, how represented they are, but then also conversely how unpopular all the other student events are at Fordham. So you would think that this would have already happened before, but
absolutely.
Never too late.
Unfortunately, though, this event was met with a petition from the Tradition Family Student Group. That's not a Fordham-affiliated group. That's not affiliated with New York, really, but it is a conservative Christian hate group that decided to shed light on how they feel about the drag show at Lincoln Center. They described the LGBT students as sinful. They said it was disgraceful that a Catholic institution was having an event like this. I personally think it's disgraceful that they are shedding their opinion because it is not welcome. The university proved that it wasn't welcome by releasing a statement, which is the first time that they've done that for an anti-gay incident, which I really appreciated. But and it's a move toward diversity, but it's also diversity you can't really see in the student population yet. So hopefully they'll make strides.
Yeah. And it's good in my opinion because I think it's taken Fordham so long to actually make comments on issues like this, because as we're seniors, you remember, freshman, sophomore year, there were a lot of bias and hate crimes, concerning homophobia and anti-Semitism.
And racism
so, yes,
as well.
Lots of that, lots of racism. So it's nice to see that Fordham is actually trying to have a definitive opinion and stance against these hate groups and hate crimes.
And our friends who work in the president's office, they said the phone was just ringing off the hook with people calling who were pissed off about whatever the hell that organization's name is and what they had to say about our campus. So I'm sure that probably fueled Fordham to make that statement, but we'll take it. I mean, at least we're seeing that they're trying to show that hate has no home here.
Yeah, absolutely. But on a lighter note, Jiyoon, how was your weekend?
My weekend was great, Kristin. Thank you for asking. On Saturday, I went to Six Flags Fright Fest, and I did not go on my own dime. I actually went with Fordham CAB, which is Campus Activities Board. They shipped us all out to New Jersey for a day of fun and filled freaks, and it was a good time because I didn't pay for it. And if this interests you, it's a little late. It already happened on Saturday, but you can pay $50 of your own money and go to New Jersey yourself. It's essentially, the same as Six Flags normally is, but around 6 p.m., people who are dressed up as ghouls and goblins will come out and surprise you. But they're all, NYU and Juilliard dropouts, so let's keep that in mind. But it's a fun time. And you might remember in my first presentation, if you're a loyal watcher, that I talked about how much I disliked horror movies. And while that is still true, and I might sound like a hypocrite, I love roller coasters so much that I'm willing to sacrifice my mental health in order to ride my rides.
And then, Jiyoon, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's an event that happens every year. Have you gone before?
That happens every year, actually. This is my 4th year running, and I submitted exactly at 3 p.m. when the sheet opened up. And I learned later on that at 3:05, all the spots were filled. So it's never too early. It's never too early, guys.
Good for you, Jiyoon.
Thank you.
So if you're even more of a scaredy cat than Jiyoon and you're looking for a little bit of a tamer weekend activity, you can head over to Fordham's Black Box Theater and support Fordham Experimental Theater because they'll be having the Playwrights Festival this weekend. So that's when student playwrights, they write their own play, they direct it, students act in it. And I mean, there are no Shakespeare's, I'm not gonna lie, but I've been before. I had a pretty good time. Didn't you go?
Yeah, I went. A friend of mine had created a show. It was very, very painful, I do have to say. I don't think I will ever go back. It was a very long 2 hours, but I appreciate the sentiment. I will go on to other things to support my my fellow students.
And I've personally never been, but coming from a student theater background, I know exactly how painful that's going to be, and I personally welcome. But I hope you guys have a good time.
Okay, so, I mean, if you're like Kristin and Jiyoon and sitting in a theater for 2 hours sounds even scarier than Fright Fest, then you could just pregame the event maybe, cross your fingers, see how it goes.
Yeah. Another event that you might want to pregame this week is the College Democrats, College Republicans debate on Wednesday night in the library. They're going to be covering topics such as felons' voting rights, NATO, social media censorship, and Supreme Court term limits. I'm sure College Republicans will exhibit their great diversity by having a straight white male represent them. This is another event that I've went to in the past and will not go to again because the two delegates ended up just yelling at each other and nobody's point got across, which says a lot about our political climate now.
Yeah,
hopefully our Fordham students can show some bipartisanship and agree on some things, but do you think either of you guys will go?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I am interested in politics, as every good American should be, but in all honesty, I feel like a student debate is not the way to go about it. I don't think that Fordham is particularly, let's say, what's the wording here? It's a very sensitive topic these days. I think that Fordham students are not really well-versed enough in politics a lot of the time to have a bipartisan, discussion on that. But
yeah, I mean, to me, like, that sounds scarier than Fright Fest and the Playwrights Festival combined. So I don't know. I don't know if I think debates are always the most fruitful.
But it does once again say something about Fordham University because we are ranked like one of the worst with free speech in the nation.
True.
So I'm happy that there is a debate to be had.
Yeah,
right?
that's fair.
You know?
I know some of you guys might have remembered last year. Remember when there was the protests against adjunct faculty?
Yes.
And it's kind of ironic because in order to have a protest, you have to submit your application to have a protest, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. But
Because generally the protesting university, that's the thing.
you're protesting the university, and the university has the power to X your
down.
protest.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense in my opinion.
Yeah. But in other news on college campuses, Clemson University had a huge incident this weekend. They had a party where the beat dropped so low that the floor dropped to the
The
ground.
entire floor came down. And I think you've seen the video on Barstool Sports. It happened this weekend. That it's actually a sight to see. It's 500 undergrads tumbling into the 3 floors down back into the lobby, and I gotta say it's pretty funny because I'm sure it's gonna happen at Fordham sometime. Let's hope it doesn't happen this weekend because the student housing here is not great, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, our apartment we literally call Cucka House because it's basically on the verge of falling apart. So we'll keep our fingers crossed that no floors fall out from beneath us.
But honestly, it wouldn't really surprise me. I don't think any of our apartments are really up to code. But fingers crossed.
Well, anyways, that's it for us this week, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back next week with all of our reviews, our rants, and our ideas to share.